right here on his radio 92.3. I'm here each and every Wednesday from 12 noon to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to dive into the transformative world of blockchains with a purpose. Join us as we explore how today's tech pioneers are building the legacy of tomorrow, one block at a time. Stay tuned. The future of blockchain starts now.
What's going on, everybody? This is your bro Crypto Cliff filling in for Diana today. So the very first thing I like to start off with anything I do is I like to say my affirmation. So if you allow me to give the chance to say one of my favorite money-making affirmations, repeat after me. And I say this every day, multiple times a day. I am the ruler of my destiny. I am the ruler of my destiny. Everything I touch manifests and turns into a successful situation. I am a beacon. I am a magnet for money, wealth, abundance, prosperity, knowledge, power, and great health. I am money. I am power. I am brilliant. I am resilient. I am resourceful. I am healthy. I am happy. I am wealthy. Money flows to me frequently and easily from multiple sources, known and unknown, and increasing values on a consistent basis daily. Opportunities to build wealth and to gain wealth flow to me frequently and easily from multiple sources, known and unknown, and increasing values on a consistent basis daily. I always have more access to wealth. I always have more money than I will ever need and more money than I will ever want. My money never leaves me. My assets never leave me. They go into an everlasting cycle of circulation and it comes back to me multiplied by 100 times the amount that actually left to circulate. I am money. Thank you, universe. Thank you. Now, with that being said, we get out of the way. How's everybody doing today? Today, I want to talk about the state of the financial markets. You know, I am Crypto Crow. Everything I talk about, everything I do has to do with the economy. I know a lot of people come in and they say, you know what, why do we always have to talk about money? Why does the conversation always have to revert back to money? And my answer to that is, why not? You can't flip a light switch on in your house without using money. Everything around us has to do with some type of financial gain or some type of entity taking finances away from us. So why not always have the conversation to bring more wealth, more abundance, more prosperity into our lives? Now, today is all about how we can offset what's getting ready to occur with the financial markets. So with that being said, let's dive into the problems. I wish I had a photo I could actually put up right now, but I want everybody that's looking at this video, everyone who's looking at this recording, everyone who's tuning in right now live, I want you to look up something called the psychology of a market cycle. The psychology of a market cycle. Now, what exactly is the psychology of a market cycle? The psychology of a market cycle is how the markets, no matter what financial market we're talking about, whether it's the real estate market or the retail market or the industrial markets, the psychology of a market cycle plays on the psychology of the human brain to gain access into the wealth or into the pockets of society. I'm going to ask y'all a question today, and I got people watching live. What is the top 2 most money-spending holidays of the year? Can anybody take a wild guess? What are the 2 most money-spending holidays of the year? The answer to that question is not Halloween and Christmas. Christmas is one of them. Christmas is definitely one of them. But Christmas and Thanksgiving. Christmas and Thanksgiving. Most people don't associate Thanksgiving with spending money, but look what happens the day after Thanksgiving. What is it? Black Friday. Black Friday is the most money-spending holiday of the entire year. Here's why. Most people don't know this, but most people don't know this, but 93% of all retail corporations, 93%, that's your Walmarts, your Targets, your Krogers, 93% of all retail corporations are in the red all the way into Black Friday every single year. Think about that. 93% are in the red, meaning they're in a debt deficit in their corporations all the way into Black Friday every single year. Now, why do you think that is? That's the main reason for the name Black Friday, outside of other reasons that actually happened, hundreds of years ago. We can go into that conversation, but not right now. But they call it Black Friday is because that's the one turning point of the year where most of those corporations go back into the black, where they actually flip a profit. Right? But every single holiday of the year is used to control the spending habits of the American society or potentially of the world. Case in point, I'm 38, I'm 39 years old. I remember when we didn't have all these holidays. I remember we didn't have all these celebrations. I know, right? I remember we didn't have all these celebrations. We only had basically Christmas, Thanksgiving, and 4th of July, right? Now we have New Year's. You have to pop that bottle on New Year's, right? It's a celebration of the year coming in. You have Valentine's Day. You better go out and buy that woman that ring. You have all of these different celebrations. Then we have celebrations in between the holidays. Let me ask y'all something. Do anyone remember they used to have this campaign that came out probably when I was around 13 or 14 years old? Christmas in July. Does anybody remember that Christmas in July campaign? Now, what a lot of people don't know is that Christmas in July campaign came out because they seen how bad the debt was hurting the corporations mid-year July, meaning the 6th month of the year, or going into the 7th month of the year. So they came up with a campaign to get you to spend more money so that they can offset their debt more on the 7th month of the year. What I'm explaining to you is every single entity on the planet is ran, operated, and governed by the psychological market cycle. That means whether you're buying t-shirts, milk, shoes, everything is ran on your psyche. And they use those celebrations and those holidays of the month to offset their debt until they flip back over into the black every single year on Black Friday. Does that not make you feel like a sheep? Think about it. Does that not make you feel like a sheep? Now, how does this pertain to the financial markets only? Let's talk about a situation that happened. They actually have a movie out about it called Dumb Money. Every single person who's watching this remember that Shiba Inu move, that whole move. Well, I'm not Shiba Inu, I'm sorry. That GameStop move, the first one that actually happened in 2021. Now, me being a brother of history and me being someone who was in the space back then, I'm not a new YouTuber. I've been in this space for a very long time, so I've seen a lot of things. I remember when GameStop was actually ready to go out of business in 2021. At the time, I had a group called the BMMO Investors Group. I have multiple members looking at it right now from that group. Now, in that group, this was roughly around the same time where COVID first started to hit really, really, really heavy. And we started to make markets or make moves, moving people into the stock market at the time and the cryptocurrency space. So me being a person who's always looking for different opportunities, I actually dove into this Reddit group called the Wall Street's Best Group. Now, at the time, it was maybe only like 20 or 30 people in it. Very, very small group. But I heard the message loud and clear. They wanted to be movers in the market. They wanted to be the people who are actually going to set precedents and actually make a change in the market. Their number one goal was to give a middle finger back to the elites. That's what their number one goal was, to give a middle finger back to the people who control the financial markets. So me personally, I am a historian, and I can also be very, very, very radical at times. So giving the middle finger back to the elites was right up my alley. Where do I sign up? So I got together with my group. I had around 1,100 people in my group at the time. And I got together with my group and I told them, listen, man, it's this group called the Wall Street's Best Groups. They're getting ready to try to make some moves on this GameStop play. At the time, GameStop was $6.13 per share. Remember that, $6.13. I remember that verbatim because my birthday is June 13th, right? $6.13. So most of the members of my group said no. GameStop is getting ready to go out of business. GameStop is getting ready to go under. I don't believe in this project. I don't think we should do this. And that's how the average person thinks. But me personally, being somebody who's very optimistic, I seen the value in the opportunity. Even if I would have lost money in that opportunity, I seen the value in doing something radical and going against the people who screw us over on a day-to-day basis. So me and around 22 of my members got together and we joined the Wall Street's Best Group. We implemented that plan. We got together with that plan. We executed that plan, and we all bought GameStop stock at $6.13. Now, as the news came about, the group started to grow a lot, started to grow a hell of a lot, to be honest, started to really, really flourish. And that stock price started to rise. It went from $6.13 to $12, $12 to $14. The more people that joined in on this project, the more and more that price grew. Now, here's some very, very highly important information, because there's a lot of false information about that move. They never told anyone where to buy that stock from, first off. They just wanted everyone to get in on that play. And our goal was to hit $67 per share, which would have took GameStop into a profitable company and got them out of bankruptcy, basically. We made a move, and GameStop kept going up. It went up from $14 to roughly around $40. When that move got to roughly around $63, and I want to say $63.74, that's when the elite started to pay attention to that move. They seen what we were doing. They seen the active movement in the market. They seen how we were actually manipulating the markets and doing exactly what they do on a day-to-day basis. So what ended up happening was they couldn't stop the move, so they manipulated the move even more. At that point, they started putting out campaign after campaign after campaign that GameStop was getting ready to go to what? $1,000 a share. This is the next big opportunity. You're going to miss out on your big opportunity to make you become a millionaire. They started putting out so many campaigns on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, across CNN. You couldn't go anywhere without hearing about GameStop. Am I lying? I had older people who never invested into anything in their entire life coming to me about what's going on with GameStop. Young people, my younger daughters at the time, they were like 8. They were asking me about GameStop because it was promoted just that heavy across the board. And the price shot through the roof. This was not anything that was done by the Wall Street's Best Group. This was all orchestrated by the elites, by the JP Morgans, by the Warren Buffetts. So the reason I'm saying this and I'm talking about this is because this is how they manipulate the markets on a consistent basis every single day. The stock market is one of the most scamish markets on the planet. So as that price grew and grew and grew and grew, of course, more and more promotions came into the mix. Now, with the psychology of the market cycle, you have different levels of the psychology of the market cycle. You have the disbelief, you have the thrill, you have the euphoria. Most people don't get into the markets until thrill or euphoria. No one ever gets into the markets. Most people don't get into the markets in the disbelief state. So as that market rose, we hit the thrill level. Once we hit thrill, that's when most of the people who got into GameStop started to dive into that play. Here's the crazy part about that. The elites didn't just tell you what was going to happen with GameStop. They also told you where to buy GameStop. And where was that? Robinhood. There was a reason they told you to buy on Robinhood. Because that GameStop play got to rub her share, I seen the BS. Once we got to euphoria, I seen the BS because I noticed sale orders start to go in like crazy with massive amounts of play, massive amounts of shares being sold from the elites. And I notified my entire team and told them to pull out of that play. So we made a kill on that play. But I notified my team because I seen the BS. I seen the flip of the market. I seen where the elites were getting ready to dump everything. And they did just that within less than 24 hours from that play. Not only did they dump everything, they also made a phone call and got Robinhood shut down. People put their hard-earned money, they put up their houses, their cars, their jewelry, their life savings, their 401ks, all into that play. And they had to sit there and watch their money fall. and couldn't do a damn thing about it. That is the psychology of the market cycle. They play on our psyches because they knew the average person was not thing broke loose. And they knew the average person was not going to dive into that market until they had a fear of missing out on the play. I say the same thing about crypto because we're going into blockchain now. You see, I've been in this crypto market for a very, very, very long time. And I seen the most motion, the most pull, the most people dive into the markets when Bitcoin all-time high. No one wants Ethereum is at the bearish market. No one wants the bottom of the market. Everyone wants to dive in when the markets are going through the roof. And that's the wrong way. That's the backwards way of looking at the way to build wealth. You see, Warren Buffett, one of my favorite investors of all time, has a saying: when there's blood in the streets, that's when you buy. When there's blood in the streets, that's when you buy. I'm gonna say that one more time for the people in the back. When there's blood in the streets, that's when you get in the market. Because in a bearish market is where the most millionaires and billionaires are created. That's when you dive in. But the average person, we dive in at the top of the market. All right. All right. So we're getting ready to take a commercial break. All right, back in just a minute. Peace.
You got to tell him too.
Okay, I got you. I was there.
You
Thank you.
Complete. Red carpet flare and more.
I need
Now,
that.
all hustle, no fear.
Can't listen, I don't want nobody else to ever love me. You are my shining star, I love that. There's not a minute of my day or night that I don't love you. You're my thoughts, I'm always. I still remember in the days when I was scared to touch you. I spent my days, you've been planning how to stay on love you. You must have known that I have feelings deep enough to swim in. That's when you opened up your heart and you told me to come and come. Get me started. I told you I let you learn that. Now it's broken heart. Hung up the phone and get to make a boss and so demanding. Open the door, went to my phone and you were standing. You need to go to work. I'd rather be with you because you make my heart feel hard. Love is forgettable and I'm so glad that and when we come a long way. There's only love.
All right, we're back at you. We're back at you. Hey, that was one of my favorite songs right there. It always warms your spirit. It always makes you feel warm inside. All right, but let's get back into the nitty. All right, let's get it. So we're going to start talking about something that's very highly important. It's something that people don't talk about a lot. And we're going to talk about in closing the wealth gap. But first, we got to talk about how the wealth gap affects every single person. Every single person. Let's talk about it first. How many of you know what compounding interest is? Right. Compounding interest. A lot of people don't know what compounding interest is. Let me explain it to you very, very well. So compounding interest is basically when you take the earned interest of a principal balance of an investment and you put that investment right back into that, and it builds interest and builds interest and builds more interest on top of it. Here's a crazy thing that a lot of people don't know. Do you know if our ancestors had access to a $100 investment, just $100 in 1860, and put it into a compounding interest investment in 1860, it would be worth $3.5 million in today's value. Now, we didn't have access to $100 back then because technically a lot of us was the $100 back then. But imagine how many corporations, imagine how many systems, how many entities have made trillions from the markets on compounding interest investments since 1860. Now, for the people who don't know how to build interest on top of your wealth, I'm going to give y'all jewels while we're talking about the wealth gap. There is something called staking in the cryptocurrency market. Now, staking is one of my favorite ways to build wealth. It's what I actually live off of, meaning I live off the interest that I built from my cryptocurrency assets, essentially meaning I never lose my crypto. Now, staking is when you put a cryptocurrency, a level 2 cryptocurrency inside of a protocol or a staking, and you allow that protocol to use your cryptocurrency to verify transactions on the blockchain. Essentially, you're doing what you're going to do anyway, buy and hold cryptocurrency, but yet you're allowing your cryptocurrency to manifest and build wealth for you by being used by the protocol to verify transactions on the blockchain. Is used. You get paid an APR or APY simply from holding cryptocurrency. Now, I've seen staking pools that were 1.5%. I've also seen staking pools that paid up to 150%. But on average, you can get at least 5.7% top of your. Let's talk about how much your bank pays you. All right. Do you know the average bank account only pays you 0.015% interest on every single 0.15% interest? With the national inflation 0.125, you saving money is you losing. You're losing money every single time you deposit a check in your bank account. And you know what? I have some fools that come to me and say, well, guess what? I just put my money in my. So always sit your money in an asset that can actually to stake. And I'm going to tell you the staking reward that you can get from it. The first one is one called Kava. 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 Kava is one of my favorite coins to stake because it's very consistent. You can consistently get 15% staking rewards back annually just for holding. That is one of my favorite coins to stake. Another one is called Osmosis. Osmosis has been staking at 22% for the last 5 years. That is 22% that you can make on top of the space or in any space at that matter. Let's move on. Let's talk about another thing that affects most of us. And if you look at social media, you wouldn't tell this actually. Y'all know I'm gonna get on here and say some ugly stuff, right? I gotta tell the truth though. Most people know that 80% of the working class adults in this country, but if you look on social media, it shows something completely different. It allows you to show the beautiful side of everything you do without showing the ugliness. And oftentimes it's not because of the amount of money you make or the amount of money you spend. It's the way our economy is set up. You see, the economy is set up for you to find else. So most people are absolutely broke. And here's a crazier thing that I learned, a stat that I learned. Do you know that most people who make over $250,000 a year live paycheck to paycheck? And the average person will say, well, maybe they're living above their means. No, it's the way the middle class is actually taxed. Oh, let's talk about it for real. You understand that millionaires, a lot of millionaires, the people who you look at a TV on a day-to-day basis, who you see dribbling a basketball down the basketball court, the people you see throwing a football, a lot of them are living paycheck to paycheck as well. So when you really break things down, we have an asset problem with too many liabilities in our hands right now. Let's talk about it. Here's another fact that a lot of people don't know. You know, there are 22 million. There are 22 million. What's the hardest thing? One thing that most people think is the hardest thing to obtain is becoming a millionaire. But there are 22 million millionaires in this country. Here's the crazy thing about those 22 millionaires. 22 million millionaires. Do you know that 91% of those 22 millionaires, 22 million, meaning they didn't come from money. They didn't come from a high-class family. They got it out of the mud. They invested in themselves. They put effort and put energy into themselves to make that mark. So now that you know there are 22 million people who have gained that mark, that number is not that unobtainable. Let me tell y'all something from personal perspective. It ain't hard to make $1 million. It's hard to keep it. Let me say that again for the people in the back. It ain't hard to make $1 million. It's hard to keep it. It actually accumulates value. Most people get cash and they think that cash is an asset when it's not. It's simply just a promissory note that you're supposed to convert. By a lot of people who gain that status lose that status. Case in point, let's talk about lotto winners. Do you know that 96% of people who win the lottery lose the lottery money within 3 to 5 years? Yeah. There's a guy who just won almost $1 billion 4 years ago. He is broke right now. And the reason he is broke is because of that one simple rule I just told you. He never figured out the conversion of that. Do you know that the top 1% of this planet, the top 1% of this country, owns 46% of all the property wealth in this country, leaving the other 99% to fight over? Real estate is one of the ways for you to build wealth. Yet, that's the number one way that most people don't build wealth. Let's talk about it. And night sits and resonates with me to this day. Most people do not understand the monetary or banking system. For if they did, there would be a revolution tomorrow morning. Think about that. Henry Ford, somebody who is not the most pleasant person in the world because he actually stole a lot of the things he actually did, but he made a statement so vast against the banking system in 1918 that it still sits stagnant to this day. He said most people do not understand the monetary banking standard, meaning our money was actually backed by a physical commodity. Imagine how many ways the banking system has learned to screw us over on a day-to-day basis. Now, let's talk about it. You see, we convert over to the fiat currency system fully in 1953 under Nixon. Fiat currency is a system that allows the government to actually print money as needed versus print, raise the debt ceiling, print, raise the debt ceiling even more, and print before. Think about this. And I want everyone to think about this. Now, like I said, I'm 39 years old, but I remember we used to be able to take $100 bill and go to a grocery store and fill up your entire cart with groceries. Does anybody else remember that? If you remember that in the comments, say hell yeah. Do you remember you grow an entire cart up? And I remember my mom actually giving us change back, telling us we can actually go get candy behind you know, the bit that she was able to actually fill up that cart with groceries. I guarantee you, these ain't getting candy today. What can $100 get you right now at the grocery store? I would say more so like a Publix. Do you know they had chicken wings? A pack of chicken wings in Harris Teeter's was $42. I thought it was a fluke. I thought it was a mistake. I went to looking through the rest of the packs. I didn't see one under $38. Do you know gas in California right now is around $7? Can you say hyperinflation? You know, a loaf of bread that used to be 99 cents is now $5.49. Can we say hyperinflation? Because of that conversion from the system that was backed by a physical commodity to a system that allows government to print. Right now, do you not know our debt is 7 times? Let's talk about it. All right? Let's talk about how. Right? Think about this. In 1970, a cup of coffee cost you 25 cents. I'm sure this is how inflation really works. In 1970, a cup of coffee cost you 25 cents. In 1990, a cup of coffee would usually cost you around 75 cents. 2010, $1.25. 2019, $2.59. How much would a cup of coffee cost you at Starbucks today? At least. How much would that same cup of coffee cost you in the next 10 years if we continue to go in the right now? I want y'all to really ask yourself that. Now, how does this pertain to blockchain tech? The biggest misconceptions of blockchain is that it shows you the price point movement in US form of the cryptocurrency market. But the blockchain itself cannot be affected by what goes on in our economy. You see, the blockchain is self-ran, self-governed, self-operated. It's a system of accountability that brings access to the way and storage to the way we access and store our own data. The blockchain is literally 1,000 times larger than the internet itself. Over to the blockchain. It's the most practical and less problematic way we can actually save our systems, not indulge into the currency. So what exactly is blockchain? Blockchain is an innovative database and technology that is all about storing data. It's all about the way we store and access our own data. Now, people think the cryptocurrency market and the blockchain market run hand in hand. That's the was to go away tomorrow. The blockchain will still be here. The blockchain is a new system, and it shows us how we controlling access to everything we do. Let me tell y'all something. A lot of people don't understand that data is an asset class. Every time you sign into Facebook, every time you sign into Instagram, every time you sign into TikTok, they're accessing and storing your data, controlling your data. And people say, well, they promote products on Facebook. That is literally 15% of their revenue. They get paid because they have access to your data. Facebook was in a lawsuit, 5 years ago? Well, they actually brought up how Mark Zuckerberg was illegally stealing our data and selling our data off. You ever go to Amazon and look at a t-shirt? Or look at a pair of pants? Look at some shoes on Amazon? And you don't buy it, and it pops up on Facebook, and it pops up on Instagram, and it pops up everywhere, it's because they resold your allows us to control, access, and govern our own what? Data. Because we don't understand how valuable that is. Now, the blockchain's already infiltrated multiple different industries. Just about every industry in the world. But I want to be. Do you know there are 3,300 banks in America? Wells Fargo, SunTrust, the Bank of Australia. I can continue going on and on and on and on. But to be more specific, we're ready to dive into what we consider ISO 222. So what exactly is the ISO? The ISO, or ISO 222, is the newfound system getting ready to take over our current financial system. Now, I hear everybody talking about Project 2025. I'm hearing it all over Facebook. You're not understanding that this presidential election, everything that's going on with this election this year is just a cover-up to convert the systems over to ISO 222, which is a real Project 2025. If you're still thinking about the old ways of making money, if you're still thinking about the old ways of getting money, you're behind the mark, because the real Project 2025 is ISO 222. It is the conversion of our traditional financial system right now. The system has been put in place for years. It is the conversion and the complete replacement of that system. That's what ISO is. It's the conversion of that system, converting everything over to blockchain. How does blockchain, well, the main question is, how does blockchain, what would blockchain do for that type of system? How could the banking systems right now benefit from the blockchain? Let's talk about one cryptocurrency that's one of my favorites, XRP. What could XRP actually do? So with XRP, the main humps behind XRP, or the main principle behind XRP, is all about accountability and about how we dive into the systems, how the systems of security actually happen, how the systems of liquidity actually happens, how the systems of transactions converting transactions actually happens. Of hacking systems, because you can't hack into the blockchain. You talk about the end of having access to multiple different accounts. You can all have everything running by banking systems, because everything is all ran in the system of accountability. That's what XRP brings to the system. You talk about the end of high payments. My favorite things to talk about when it comes down to blockchain tech, or when it comes down to the financial systems. You're talking about XRP only using 0.00025 XRP compared to you sending $100 in Zelle and paying $3 in fees. That is what the system is actually bringing. That is what XRP is actually bringing. That is what the blockchain is bringing to the financial systems. It's all about accountability and less fees. Less fees. So, with that being said, that is the conversion. That is the real Project 2025. Look into the ISO. Now, I asked a question yesterday on Facebook. I had a bunch of people who actually wanted me to answer these questions here. Let's see if we can actually mind answering these questions here on the blockchain, if you don't mind. Answer them on a call. So I had one person. That is one of the most irritating questions. That's one of the most irritating questions. Bad question. So, all right, I think right now anybody who's been in the space or anybody who's been around, we all know the financial systems will be using cryptocurrency if it was a scam. The United States literally has a partnership with XRP. They literally have a partnership with Bitcoin. They have a partnership to use Bitcoin. They're literally Bitcoin and Bitcoin ETFs out right now. We have a Solana ETF getting ready to drop. So these big corporations would not be using blockchain tech. They would not be using these cryptocurrency projects if the ISO. How would the ISO affect everything around us? How the blockchain actually works when it comes down to the financial systems. You're talking about the end of the physical dollar. That's what we're talking about when we talk about the ISO. We're talking about the end of the physical dollar. The dollar is gone. All right. So everything will be converted over into a digital system. If you look at it right now, honestly, I think it said 87% of all the money that's circulating around the world is all digital anyway. So you're talking about the end of the dollar bill, the end of the dollar bill. I have another question on here. My top 3 coins right now. Right now, with everything going on with their blockchain, now Solana came up with Cardano and Cardano, Polygon, and it was Cardano, Polygon, Avalanche. I'm giving y'all more gems while I'm saying this. But Cardano, Polygon, Avalanche, and all were in the running to eventually overthrow Ethereum. I am probably 95% sure that Solana is going to be the coin that's going to be the first one to overthrow Ethereum. They actually have Solana ETFs is actually dropping right now. There's a lot of news around Solana. If they can get there, Solana is definitely one of them. I'm going to do coins outside of Bitcoin. All right. So another one of my favorite coins, honestly, is VeChain. I love VeChain. I love VeChain to death. VeChain is one of my favorite tokens. VeChain is an industrial token. It literally brings builds networks out of your industrial company, right? You can hold your transactions on that blockchain. You can do your inventory on that blockchain. It can literally complete an entire industry just with that one blockchain. So VeChain, actually the coin that sits off of VeChain. That's another one to actually get into as well. So I would definitely do VeChain. Definitely do VeChain. Next one, I got to go with potentially XRP. I got to go XRP and I got to go XDC. Those are the ISO tokens. Those are the only 3 coins that are ISO compliant. So those are the coins that I would actually talk about first. Those are the coins that I would actually bring in first. My top 3 coins right now to hold. Now I have somebody ask me what's the top 3 meme coins. Extremely risky. I am not a meme coin heavy coach. I teach my students how to get into premium assets that I actually want to usually don't. So when it comes down to the meme coin game, definitely, I would say take your time researching it, and also don't throw your bag into a meme coin. Now there are some meme coins that actually have a lot of volume. There are some meme coins that have huge communities. So the way I look at the meme coin game, and if people believe in that project enough, even if it's crap like Dogecoin, that coin will rise. So Brent is one of them. Brent, BRETT. That's one dope one. I like Rich Quack. Rich Quack is also really a really dope meme coin. The reason I like Rich Quack so much is because they actually have a burn ratio. They actually have a burn ratio where they actually burn off. They're gonna be of all time. Bunk is dope. I love Bunk. Is also another one. Pokey is also another one. PONKE. But those are my top meme coin picks that I would have outside of the Pepes. All right. So with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this radio show today. This is the beautiful radio show today. If you want to get in contact with me, you can get in contact with me on Facebook, Clifton O'Neal. You can get in contact with me on TikTok, Crypto Cliff LLC. If you're looking to get into a course, if you really want to dive deeper into this stuff, because what we're talking about today was just the tip of the iceberg. If you want to get in on everything we have going on, if you want to learn how to become a full-time investor, all right, in the cryptocurrency space, in the stock space, in the precious metal space, hit me up. I have a few slots available for my one-on-one, and I have a group course getting ready to start pretty soon. So let me know, and we got you. But this has been beautiful. I have one more question I want to get out. Let's see. I got a few minutes. So when you sign up as a one-on-one student with me, my one-on-one students, first off, you still have access to get in contact with me to talk. I have one-on-one students who I talked 5 years ago who I talk to every single day. My one-on-one students get a full throttle version of how to become a full-time investor. You're going to learn how to trade the crypto futures markets. You're going to learn how to day trade the crypto spot market. You're also going to learn how to day trade the predictions markets. We also dive into stock trading and precious metals investing. You're going to learn the basis to the intermediary to the advanced levels of crypto investing. Not just crypto, but you're going to learn NFTs. I go full and all in with my students, and it's not a pamphlet that I'm going to sing. We're going on one students get full throttle in March, and I have 106 that I've already helped retire. Right? They could completely quit their job. So yeah, this is what I'm doing. I have a few slots available for that one. Let me know if you have interest in that. But I got you. But again, this has been a single last one of y'all for a while. Yeah, thank you.
Did you want any,
Thanks for tuning in to
Yeah, let me get through this.
Townsend here, 12 noon to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're here exploring revolutionary week for more insights into the world of purpose-driven blockchain technology. Until then, keep innovating and shaping the future.
comments as you were talking? It would have been something, but most of the comments were, responding, like, signing what you were saying, yeah.